Seeram, everyone. Thanks for joining. Seeram, everyone. Thanks for joining. Let's start with 3 ohms. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Seeram, I have one brother and one sister, two people from Austin here joining us today for my Sai and I. So Sister Ghazal is a HR by profession, working in an IT firm, and her husband is a software developer. And they have 2 daughters and a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. She has vast experience in dealing with college students in various capacities in the organization, as well as in the professional and personal areas. She's more into learning and development, both in the Sai org as well as into her profession as well. Right. With Swami, the way I think she got connected, we'll know more for sure, but I would give a small intro anyway. Right. I had a conversation with her yesterday. I'm curious to know how she was getting into Swami's fold, and what is that kind of.
This meeting is being recorded.
What is that something that kind of pushed her into Swami's fold, and it was quite frankly, for me, a lot of learning experience, frankly, and I hope it will be a learning for everyone here too. Right. As Swami says every time, he sends the right person in the right time, in the right spot, and I definitely think Sister Ghazal is one of them, for sure. So I don't want to take a lot of time here. I'll just pass it on to Sister Ghazal here. Sister Ghazal, Seeram, welcome, Sister.
Seeram brother, Seeram everyone who has joined, taken out time to hear our stories. And before we start off session, I offer my humble pranams to Swami's lotus feet. Okay, like brother has already told about my professional side, but in US I am on dependent visa, so currently I'm not working here, and this was way back in India. We have recently moved to US last year only, and with Swami, my journey has started very recently. It's not like my parents were there or I know Swami for long. So my journey with Swami started with my marriage. Like I got married to a follower of Swami, and I come from a different religion. He is from different religion. But when we got married, he took a promise from me that any seva coming through your way, you will not say no to it. Anyone asking you for bhajan, you will not say no to it. So till day I'm stuck into this promise, and Swami has been hand-holding me for this. So it started all in 2017. And I feel Swami has been hand-holding me since then. As soon as I got married, I was taken up 2 sevas which were taken through Delhi NCR. And I just started going as an observer to understand what is the organization like and how do we work, how are we contributing to the society. So there is this program which is running over there. This is called Satya Sai Vidya Jyoti, in which there are gurus. It is like your SSC program, but that is for the devotee students. Here it is going in a school where they are being taught the moral skills and good habits and everything. And I used to go there as an observer. I never knew how it happened, how things changed. From a observer, I became a storyteller to them. This incident happened in 2017 Guru Purnima. Somebody randomly told me, why don't you tell these kids the importance of Guru Purnima, how this Guru Purnima started off? So I took 5 minutes break, and then I said, okay, I'll do it. And then I learned about it in 5 minutes. I knew the story of Eklavya in Mahabharata. I happened to tell that story to the kids. They all enjoyed. Then they could connect. Why do we call it Guru Purnima? And soon after that, from next week, these kids started asking their gurus that we would like to hear a story from that lake. So then I have to prepare myself again and again. I used to tell them stories from Mahabharata, Ramayana, and they used to like it. And from observer, I became their speaker, or whatever you say, their educator, because even in their families, they were students of government school. Even in their families, their parents were not very educated. So they found it very interesting that they can connect from their mythology, their history, apart from books. And as this journey continued, and somebody told me there is another program going on in Delhi NCR, which is for college students, which is called Life is a Game, Play It. In that, this is a program which has been designed by Swami himself. I got to know it very later in the process. And there are 10 modules, which includes life skill, relationship management, stress management. These topics and the stories in those program and module has been taken up from Swami itself. Swami has validated all these stories which is there, like monkey mind. Everybody knows who have been connected to Swami that he tells about monkey mind and all. So these kind of stories are there. So I got to know that there is this program going on, and I was pushed in that. There was a teachers training program there in Delhi Science Center, and I got an opportunity there to be a trainer. There were around 20 trainers who were getting trained. But while the training was going on, there was this lady Bharti who was training everyone. She said one sentence, that Swami has chosen you to deliver this, not because he wants you to deliver this to others. He wants you to improve on these areas, like stress management, time management, relationship management. First, you guys improve in your life, then it is of more importance to others, because you will teach kids 1 year, and then next year you will have another batch of kids, but you need to improve on yourself. That's why Swami has chosen you. And it is not your choice that you are here, it is Swami's choice, because this program has been completely designed by Swami. We can do alterations, but the guidelines are all his. This program has been running there for 10 years or more, maybe now. So going forward in that, at that time, there was one more thing that happened. At that time, the schools were given badges at the working day. I don't know how this happened. Boss never allowed you to leave early or taken off for a session. But whenever there is a schedule, I somehow or the other happened to get an off or early. I used to leave early with due permission of my boss, and was able to deliver my lecture, and kids were also happy. When one module was completed, there were around 60 or 70 students. I was the only one who was handling this huge batch in the whole district of NCR in 10 regions. And I was even surprised when I got to know about it, because I at times feel, how am I getting to know this? How am I getting more and more involved in this? So there were no answers. And then these things kept on happening. And then in 2018, there was Parti Seva. That was again a life-changing experience for me, for Swami. I never knew what was Seva, what are you going to do in Parti. I didn't know that. But it was Seva of 15 days. And again, it was to my surprise, my boss said, okay, it is just the starting of the year and you can go and take your leave. But then he told me that you are not going to take this big chunk of leave in next 6 months. Like, okay, we'll see whatever happens. So even in Parti Seva, we were not knowing where will we be assigned and what things I have to do. I had no clue because this is a totally new thing for me. When we landed there, we got ready and we reached our place where we were assigned Seva. I was given Seva in North Canteen. I also didn't know what are these canteens, how do we do Seva. I was just told you are given a Seva in canteen. Then what I randomly asked, so what do we do there? So they told me that you have to cook meal, you have to serve people, something. So when I got to know about this, like this is something I might not be very happy doing, but I didn't ask anyone to change my Seva or anything like that. But I was like, okay, let's see, let's give it a try. Because I'm not very good at household stuff anyhow. So when it was the day of Seva, I don't know what happened, what did not happen. The district coordinator of our district, he had asked somebody to put me into the Seva near Samadhi. If some of you are aware, the Seva near the Samadhi is the toughest Seva because there's this Induma under whom this Seva comes, and she has different mops for every floor, different brooms for every floor. In whole Kulwant Hall, you can stand and do jhadu pocha, but in that particular area, you have to sit and do the mopping. You cannot use any wiper or stick. You have to change water, even if it changes its color slightly. So it is the toughest Seva there. So I was like, okay, for first 2 days it was tough, getting up at 2 o'clock at night and then running there. It was winter. You have to take bath and go at night. I don't know how Swami managed it. I happened to get my hot water every day, which was not very common, but some of the other aunties were there to help us. So I got the hot water every day. So after 2 days, it became routine. So we look forward to it. And with this change of my Seva plan, I happened to spend 12 hours in a day with Swami. So that was amazing. That was actually amazing. Doing cleaning and during the darshan, every time I was in that gray black area. Now I even remember colors so nicely because you have cleaned every bit of it. So this is how it happened. And one thing I'll tell you about Seva, if any of you been there or planning to go there, the time you are in Seva, you actually forget there is an actual world outside. When you have to go back, you feel like this is the only world. This is the only reason of my existence. This was my feeling there. Okay, and then I realized that when you are in Seva Dal, you're not allowed to take darshan. You're not allowed to take. You're not allowed to clap for bhajan. You're not allowed to clap for aartis. You're not allowed to look at Swami Samadhi. This is the discipline which Seva Dal has to follow. So after the Seva darshan is done, then they have this last aarti for Seva Dal, wherein only the Seva Dal is there and they are allowed to do darshan and spend some time there alone, only as Seva Dal. So on the last day of our Seva, this thing happened with me. I had such a connection with that place, with Swami. I don't know what happened, what did not happen. I was taking my last darshan towards Samadhi and I really could not get up. Being a Seva Dal, nobody else also tapped my back to get up. And then somebody, after 3 to 4 minutes, somebody tried to wake me up. And I got up. I was in some different world. I had tears in my eyes. I was telling it to brother as well that I was not crying, but I had tears in my eyes because I knew I have a flight tomorrow to go back to Delhi. I'll not be able to do tomorrow morning seva. Tomorrow morning, when everybody whose seva is next will be rushing to the Kulwant Hall for seva, I'll be rushing towards the world where about which I had forgotten already. So that was one connection. From there, I got to know that Swami is always with you. I have not seen Swami in physical form. Not does my husband has seen him in the physical form. I got to know Swami about after my marriage only. So, and one more incident happened there, which got me goosebumps. One day we were coming back from dinner after the seva. Somebody told us there is a vibhuti coming out of one photograph. So this was like 1 or 2 days after the seva began. I was like, how is it possible? So we ran to that was a southwest block in the ashram. We ran to that block, and that gentleman was sitting there, and I have a photo of it. I will share it also with you guys. I still have a photo of it. I saw a picture of Swami. It was a huge 4 feet big picture and all filled with vibhuti. It was very evident that no, it will not stick on the photo on its own. It is actually coming out of it. That was the one miracle experience which I have felt there, which can prove that miracles do happen. Right. So that was about it. And after that, life went on. And Swami has given a chakkar to us. After that, we moved to Pune. In 2019, we had to move to Pune, and we have made this a practice. We have learned it from there that wherever we move, we try to connect to Sai Samiti so that we don't feel alien in a new place. Because people are genuinely so welcoming and helping when they know that some devotee is coming and they know the problems anyone would face coming there. So same happened. We moved to Pune in 2019, and there also we got connected with Sai Samiti. And then when we got to know about things, how are being seva done there, and before COVID, it was a general practice there in India that everywhere they used to have weekly bhajan at everybody's home. Some not at the center, they have this weekly bhajan at people's home. So we used to go there, and then people involved us in some activities like service activities, Narayan Seva, or this water serving seva, something like that. And they were talking, my husband was talking to somebody, and they got to know that they have a program which is again running there for college students, which is known as Yuva Vikas. And they are short of few trainers. And then they told them, my wife can try, maybe if you guys, you can try her. And if she is of any benefit to you, she'll be happy. So instantly, when we got to know there, they were looking for a person to deliver a stress management lecture within next week, which was scheduled. And then again, there I had another coach. She was a very senior devotee, Gayatri Taish. So she trained me for 5 days, and then she told me, this is what you have to deliver. So then it was so surprising. Again, there was this brother, like you said, there was another brother. He used to tell me, Swami makes you reach at the right time at the right place. We needed you here. That's why you came from Delhi to Pune, not for your job. Okay, fine. That is so. So we'll believe you. So I think that this is only Swami's will, that he has used me as instrument in all these things. Because after I was practicing for these sessions, I was proposed to take a workshop on stress management for young messengers in Pune. That was for whole Maharashtra. Because I am nowhere capable of addressing so senior people, so experienced people. But it is just Swami's will. I'm just the instrument of his hand that I was able to do this workshop there also. In workshop also, there incidents happened while this workshop was going on. The power went off, which is very unusual, which was very unusual because they had a backup, but power went off. And then my coach was sitting in the first row. She was like, before I could panic or I could say anything, she was like, she's good without PPT. I felt like Swami is giving me this instruction. If you are saying so, then I'm good. So I continued whole workshop without PPT because it was actually on my tips, and I could manage that. So I did not have that belief in me. Before she saw that I could panic or I could do anything like that, she said she's good without PPT. So like, okay, if you have that confidence, then let's do it. It was again a good incident there. After that, I'll tell you an incident that happened towards end of 2019. My daughter was almost 11 months old in November, and we planned to take her to Parthi for Swami's birthday. And we planned it very later in time that our seats were not confirmed. We took a train from Pune to Bangalore, Parthi, basically. So we got our tickets done. It was in waiting list, but we thought it's Swami's wish. If you want us to be there, if you want, my daughter's name is Saisha. If her Swami wants Saisha to be there, so things will work out. We don't have to worry because we surrender now. We have a habit of surrendering things to Swami. Whatever will happen, will happen. So few days before our tickets get confirmed, and it was on the aisle side of the train. And I was very upset that it is confirmed, Swami, but why on the aisle side? You know, I have an infant with me and I'll not be able to manage. So let's see then whatever happens. I know you have done, and my relation with Swami is more of a like elder brother than to like, he is Bhagwan, I know. But I am kind of a person where I question him, why do you do this? Why don't you do it like this? So at end of the day, when things happen, it's like you wait and watch. Have patience. He's always like this. You wait and watch what I have planned for you. You wait and watch. So same thing happened in this. I was very upset while going. I went there, sat there. We had our meal. And it was again, I'll see. Towards the evening, there were two males who were on the main side of the train. And when they saw that kid is getting cranky, they started generally talking to us, and then they were asking, and they were also going, these two brothers were also going to Prashanti for Swami's birthday. And then they offered us their seat, which we could not have thought of. So that was again a miracle. And it was their word that our seat was confirmed, and that is the reason you got this seat here. So it is Swami's wish or order, whatever you say, that you should come here. Otherwise, within 5,000 seats in this coach, how is it possible that you are supposed to get your confirmed seat in this aisle only? So those two gentlemen brothers, they gave us their seat, and they spent their journey on the aisle seat. So this was one miracle that had happened during that particular journey. And my daughter being an infant, she got all the VIP treatment which was possible there in the. So it was so crowded on the Swami's birthday. It was so crowded on the birthday that you could not even move from one place to another place without bumping into each other. But because of her, because of my daughter, I would say. Or she is a Swami's kid. She was born on Thursday. Her name is on Swami's name. So she got all the good treatment. She took darshan every evening, morning, all darshan she could take. Everybody enjoyed her with the permanent Sevadal as well. So things went very smooth. Things went actually very smooth. I was so scared that it will be so crowded. How will I manage with kids? So that particular trip was a miracle for us. So things happen, and still things happen. And then after that, we had to leave Pune again. We got our visas for Canada. We both had work visas, and then COVID struck. Our passport with stamped visa were in Canada embassy, and it took us 3 months to get it there from there. And by the time we got it there and got the client, our visa got expired. And sorry, they had this condition that person should fly within a month, then only we'll be able to absorb him. But my husband's current company did not allow him to negotiate on the notice period, which was 3 months. So we had to serve the notice period, and we could not come, and that client was gone. While we were on notice period, we got to know that my husband has got H1. So that's how we ended up coming to US. And we were so scared of coming because it was again another world for us. But likewise, we ended up in Chicago. Earlier, we ended up in Chicago, and we had connected from Sai Center in Chicago from India itself. And it was so easy transition. The people from there helped us understanding things, helped us setting up our home, and things went very easy. Okay, and one thing happened in Chicago, like SSC, which is going here, my daughter was about to get 4. She was short of 3 months to get 4. So I asked the person who was enrolling there, please, why don't you enroll her? She was going school there, and now she cannot go there, so she'll get something in her mind when she'll sit. So they bluntly said, no, we'll not take her because she's not 4. So I was again asking Swami, why Swami? If she learns something good, what is the harm in that? Why do you need her age? She's only 3 months short of 4. So I tried multiple times, so things did not happen. So we were destined to move from Chicago. That was again Swami's plan. He again said, wait and watch. Then we moved from Chicago to Austin in January. We stayed in Chicago for, I think, 6-7 months. So that's why I later got to know that she was not enrolled there because she was destined to enroll here. And I didn't ask anyone to get her enrolled. The first day we went for bhajan in somebody's home, there were SSC gurus were there. They themselves accepted her. From tomorrow she is coming in our batches, and you bring her, and we'll accept her as you don't have to worry about it. It was so surprising for me again. So then I realized, okay, that's why I was getting a no from Chicago every time I try. So it's just have patience, believe in Swami. And over the period, I've gone through many satsangs, and I'm still learning about Swami, which is never ending. But I feel Swami is always hand holding me for anything I want. I get it, but at right time. He's always like, you will get it, but you will get it at right time. But I at time get in questioning mode. Why do you do this? Why do you do this? So one thing I've learned from all these satsang from this is Sai means see always inside. Swami is always within you. Swami is always within you. Swami is always with you. So I think this is a brief about my journey with Swami, and it will continue.
Great, sister. I think you kind of um, how do I say it? I mean, starting with starting as a non-devotee, getting married to a person, and then having that journey, first time traveling to Parthi and first time traveling for service into Parthi. That's altogether a different thing. I mean, I don't know if somebody did that kind of a feat. Um, the uh, the kind of prema bhavam, or the friendliness, the friendly attitude to Swami that you are talking about, the surrender aspect of how you said what surrender really means, how the examples around those, being an instrument, the way you called, how you wanted him to yourself to be an instrument of Swami, ready to be shaped up into any form. Uh, those are really key things that personally inspires me from you. Um, I definitely I know where I need to come and what I need to look out from you as well. Right after speaking to you, I was so inspired. Like we were frankly looking out for somebody um, for the YA retreat planning that we were looking out for the year. We're thinking what we could do differently this year. What are the things that we could do differently this year? What are the plans that we probably can put down and things like that. And that's when Swami sends right person at the right time at the right spot, right? That's when I come to know about you, and I'm actually telling you for the first time about this, right? I mean, I didn't tell you yesterday, but you know, the way things kind of or the way he puts it to work, and when you are ready to be shaped up by him, being an instrument is a key, right? And being a non-devotee, transferring into a into someone who believes in Swami, someone who kind of goes into that detail as to getting that complete surrender aspect of it is something that not many people in this at this point of time kind of achieve, right? It is still a journey that I try to come to. Not I'm not very good at it. I'm sure not many of us are good at it here as well. And it was really inspiring, sister. Thanks to you. And one question that I have, right? Um, what is that one thing that you think kind of pushed you into that Swami's fold, right? I know you. I mean, initially being a non-devotee, initially being a person who does not know about Swami, into a person who completely surrenders to Swami. That's two different end of the story, right? I mean, you need to probably have something, some kind of a starting point to say, or to have him push you into his fold. What is that point that you that where and how did you really, I mean, in terms of you spoke about various avenues where you were training people on different aspects of stress management, different other the Yuva Seva, or I not, maybe I'm butchering the name, but there are different aspects of um, projects that you did when you were in India for the organization, right? So how did you get trained on all of them before, or like I'm just curious, how did that land really?
Okay, so you have two questions. One is how I ended up surrendering to Swami,
Yeah.
and second one is how I get trained in this,
No,
right?
how do you even you were not in that fold earlier, and suddenly observing into the fold, training people on something that is very new to you is very different, right? Were you already having that training in you? Did you get trained anywhere else, or did you know about some of that earlier, and you happen to kind of use that in the Sai world, or how does that transfer really?
Okay. Firstly, how I got into this mode of surrendering to Swami is when it started with series of incidents I cannot even explain in this small amount of time, wherein I was like, okay, now this is happening. Tell me you are there and do this. Tell me you are there and do this. Like I was telling you, for this, the train example is one. Uh, in that, after that, I was already in surrender mode. See, after I had my daughter, I had to leave my job, and I was looking for some engagement. And I had the, if some of you all know, people write letters to Swami, which they deliver there. So when I went there first time, I wrote a letter to Swami. There were like few queries, few questions, pre-requests. I had a copy of it. So when over the time these things started getting answered, it took some time, but these things started getting answered in a way or two. So then I realized that there is some power which is connecting me to Swami. I'm connecting whatever I request to him, whatever I ask, I get answers. So, and for example, like we were destined to go to Canada. We were so excited. We had given up everything and we have sold all of our stuff. But then he had destined us to come here. So then again, we were in those surrender mode that whatever we plan is not what is good for us. What he has planned is much, much better and much, much bigger. So that these are two big incidents, but in starting something, few things, smaller things used to happen. And I was like, starting from getting a parking place in a crowded thing. So I mean, I don't know where to park. So this is like this. So see, so like if there is an elder brother or somebody who is like, see, there is a place. So he has been guiding me like that. So these are the things that have happened. So I did not mention, I was telling about you that light went off. After the session, there was this brother. He came to me and said he used to call me Didi. जो स्वामी के it was in Hindi, I translated, जो स्वामी के सबसे प्यारे बच्चे होते हैं ना, वो उनके साथ मस्ती लेते हैं, इसलिए आपके साथ ऐसा होता है. So he was saying कि the Swami who loves, Swami loves to, sorry, he told me to who are the favorite kids of Swami, he takes masti from them. So this is what he told me, and he has been telling me constantly because these things used to happen with me. So I felt that Swami is telling it to me, that I am confident in you, that's why these things are happening, and it is just his mouth, his word of mouth. So there are many incidences like this. And about this, how I used to get training, this is also another journey which started when I was not aware of Swami. My boss had put me into a practice wherein he used to give me a topic and then he told me, you have to address it. Prepare it, do a research, whatever. You have to address it. And he used to give me 5 hours for it. So then I feel I was getting trained for this activity of Swami that time. So this is how it all began.
Yeah, I definitely like how you kind of stated it, right? Like how when you decide on something, things can actually go wrong in at a certain time. When he decides for you, every time it's a sixer, right? Every time it's a sixer instead
Yes,
of
and
even the
bigger
goal.
and better.
Yeah, bigger and better. Definitely, that's definitely true. I have experienced it many times. I'm sure a lot of us have experienced the same thing. Any questions for the speaker? Please do unmute yourself and do ask the question, or you can even post in the meeting chat. Sairam, does anyone else have any questions before we move on to the next speaker?
I have certain photos to show you from the Seva.
Sure, sure. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Can I share it?
Yeah, yeah, you can.
Can you guys see it? This is how I started. This is me before my marriage, doing Seva, whatever. This was a Hindu Varshik Utsav, wherein we told about what all services we are doing. And this is from Parthi. This is the stadium Seva time. This was there. And this is the photo of which I was talking to you all about. where I saw Vibhuti actually coming out. This is batch of my students there. I made them do seva. Seva was also part of their module. Swami has mentioned that you tell young kids to do seva. So we did blood donation camp, and this was the van which we got from the center. And kids loved the idea of doing seva. They came to me and said, Ki, we never thought that seva would be such a great feeling. So because I got into this world very late, so I thought it's a very nice way for kids to know about seva. This is about a Pune lecture. Again, here we did not have the projector. Again, I had to get the presentation vocally. And this was the young messenger workshop I was talking to you all about. Just a glimpse of it.
Yeah, definitely great. Yes. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah. One last minute before we jump to Brother Navanit. Does anyone have any questions or comments that you want to post to the speaker? Please unmute yourself and speak up. Seeram.
Seeram, I was extremely impressed and I was extremely inspired.
Seeram Sai Priya, you're not heard well. Can you come closer to the microphone?
Okay, I just wrote my question in the chat window. Okay.
Okay. I don't know what she said. Did you hear it?
Yeah. She said she's gonna
post it. Yeah, she'll post it.
Oh, she is going to post it. Okay. Oh, okay. While Sai Priya is posting it, does anyone else have any comment, questions that you want to share?
Yeah, I would like to. This is Brindayana. I would like to say, she's very fortunate. You're very fortunate, girl, to do that kind of seva and to be in the so close proximity of seva with Swami. You are really picked and chosen for that. Very, very happy for you. Swami bless you. Sairam.
Sairam, thank you so much. Thank you.
Exactly. Sairam. Yeah, she's asking, how did you feel when you came to the center? That was the question from Sai Priya. How did you feel when you first came to the center? Probably she's asking about Houston Center.
Center in Austin?
Yep, I guess so.
I actually came up with very open mind, and I was so surprised to see people here are so loving, so accepting. It was so good. It never feels like you are into a different place, or it's always like an extended family. That's what I always speak. Everyone is so approachable. I can go and talk to anyone about anything. So this is so good. Great feeling.
That's definitely true. I think you are having wonderful company of a lot of YS here in Austin, and
yes.
Right, having a lot of fun recently. The picnics and everything was really fun as well. So thank you, sister. Let me pass on to Brother Navanit, who's again from Austin. Sairam, brother, how are you?
Seeram, brother, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, you're good. So just to give you an intro, right? Navanit is from Austin, as I said. He was unlike Sister Ghazal, who got into the fold much later. Brother Navanit was born in the Sai family. Probably his dad, Dr. Sai Prasad, was an old student of Bhagwan from Vrindavan. And so their family has been associated for quite some time with Swami, right? And he started his journey from Balvikas, being a Balvika student, and then becoming an active IA member. Currently, he is doing. He did his masters in US in mechanical engineering in University of Cincinnati in 2015, and then he moved to various cities, and now he's in Austin, as I said, and he's working at Tesla in the cell manufacturing division. So, welcome, Sai brother. So, over to you. Happy to learn from you and your experiences, Sairam.
Seeram, brother, offering my salutations and humble pranams at the lotus feet of our most beloved Bhagavan, Swami. Seeram, brothers and sisters, I feel this is a opportunity Swami has given me to, as Sister Ghazal mentioned, it's his will that we are executing right now. And when Sister Sai Priya said, you're speaking, why don't you speak about your experiences or connection with Swami? I was a little hesitant because I generally, I'm not a great speaker. So I try to maintain a lower profile, but I thought this instruction was from Swami to share my experiences. Uh, and I would like to thank Swami for this. And just for the ease of communication, I just put together a few slides with some timeline, and that will kind of aid in the whole experience thing. I'll go ahead and share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. So as brother mentioned, I was fortunate enough uh, to have born in a Sai family, and my dad had a great fortune of being Swami's student in Brindavan from 78 to 83. So the numbers you see there, the years on the slide, those are the key milestones in my family's past years. And again, there are many other milestones, but these are worth reminiscing again. And I feel a great joy whenever I hear these experiences that my father and his friends have shared about Swami. Um, I'll probably, the May 20th, 1963 is my father's birthday. It has a very huge connection later on when he was actually in Brindavan from 78 to 83. Um, so my grandmother was a staunch Shirdi Baba devotee. And in 62 and 63, that's when the first time they've been to Shirdi. In After going to Shirdi, they were in Nizamabad. This is a town in Telangana. There was a very elderly lady who came in front of the house and said, I see that you are Shirdi Baba's devotee. Have you heard of Parthi Baba, who's a reincarnation of Shirdi Sai? Why don't you go there? And she just said Puttaparthi. That's it. She didn't say how you can go to Puttaparthi or anything. Then my grandmother sent my uncle to inquire more details from her, and she just said and started walking. And by the time my uncle went and spoke to her, she just vanished at the end of the street. So when that happened, they were like, okay, you have to go to Puttaparthi. And I think in 1967, that's when they first went to Puttaparthi. They took a train from, I guess, Hyderabad to Dharmavaram, and then take a bus to Bukkapatnam, from Bukkapatnam to Puttaparthi on a bullock cart. So that used to be the traditional journey as compared to the one we have here right now, which is very easy. You can just take a train or fly to Bangalore, drive to Puttaparthi. And the the moment they landed in Dharmavaram, they got to know that Swami is not in Puttaparthi, Swami is in Brindavan, Whitefield. So they were very disappointed that we have made this journey from Hyderabad to Dharmavaram and now we are going back. And my grandmother had this cap she wore, and they call it monkey caps in India. I don't know the exact name, what you call it here. So she was in the restroom and she took it out. She was washing her face, and by the time she realized to pick this up, somebody stole these monkey caps, and she was very very disappointed. Like, what is this? But the critical thing or the miracle here is, from that day onwards, she never had a reason to wear that monkey cap ever in her life. So even before they saw Swami, he made sure the they have had a pleasant experience or a miracle wherein they don't have to suffer. And this was the first experience that my family were blessed with. And then again, after this, they went back, but they came back again. Um, I think the subsequent year, probably for Dasara, and that's when it used to be called Old Mandiram back then. And Old Mandiram, where Swami used to literally speak to you every half an hour or 30 minutes, and they used to cook together. Swami used to come out and say, "Okay, let's do this. This is what we are going to do." Everything was very impromptu back then. And then they had the darshan that time, and then they went back to Hyderabad. If you look at the year 1971, that's when I believe the Veda Pathshala started in Swami's um, college. There were never used to be a university or a school. There used to be a Veda Pathshala. And that's when my dad was 8 years old. So my uncle, who was probably in his high school age, he asked him, Swami, can I please join in your Veda Pathshala? Swami looked at my dad and said, "Yeah, okay, we'll give you the admission. Iddamu." But later on, my uncle was not able to attend Swami school, but my dad got the opportunity to be Swami student from 78 to 83. So we really don't understand the subtle clues that Swami generally gives. I mean, there is a lot of history or suspense behind it, and for one to realize the true intent, I think it's really impossible. And that's why, as Sister Ghazal mentioned, you have to just surrender and shut up. That's it. I mean, you can't just intrigue or think why Swami has done that, why I didn't get this or not. Swami knows what's the best plan for you. So that was one of the things that um, that doesn't Swami didn't say explicitly, but he told what he wanted to do. And they came back to Hyderabad. That was when they got their first group interview. And luckily, my aunts studied in Anantapur campus. So they had the fortune of studying in Anantapur campus. And they came back after that group interview to Hyderabad. So in 1973, that's when Shivam was constructed in Hyderabad. So my dad told me this, that all the Balvika students back then, they used to carry bricks, sand, cement, all for Shivam's inauguration. So Swami made sure uh, he gave an opportunity to all the kids back then to be part of Seva. As we all know, Swami emphasizes so much on Seva. And with that, I want to go to the next slide to give you the context. So this picture on the right, that's dad in 1975 for Dasara. Being a Balvika student, he was asked to speak about service back then. And Swami, when the topic started, he just walked uh, towards from the throne and just came down and sat there. So in a part of the discourse, dad started with the service and he said, natapadi natirdanam nashastrana japanahi samsara sagarodhare satyam sevanam mina. The gist of this is you might go to n number of temples, all the holy places, and you can do all kinds of japa you want. In order to overcome this ocean of struggles or life, seva is the only way you can come out of it. So this was one of the things that Dad mentioned in his discourse, and the speech was over, and it was Swami. Then Swami took over and started giving a discourse. He starts off with the same quote, with the whole the quote Natapadi Natirdanam, and narrates a story about seva. And this was about Abu bin Adam. I think most of you must have heard this already. So Abu bin Adam is a gentleman who's a great person who does a lot of seva. He gets a dream that an angel is writing something on a list of on a piece of paper. So Abu bin Adam asked the angel, "Okay, what is this list, or what is the list you're preparing right now?" "Oh, this is a list of all the people who love the God." Then Abu bin Adam gets curious and asks, "Is my name on the list?" Then the angel replies, "No, you're not part of the list." But instead of getting dejected, he thought, "Okay, maybe I need to do more seva, more service." He took it in a positive way and continued his efforts towards service. After a week or two, he gets a dream again. And it's the same angel who's writing on a piece of paper. And then this time he asks, "What is this list you're writing right now?" "This is a list of the names whom God loves." And so this person goes, "Okay, is my name there on the list?" "Yes, you are there on the list, and you are the only one on the list." So this means seva is a very quick and easy way to get closer to God. So this was something very captivating back then. And for me, I was not involved excessively in seva or bhajan activities while I was in India, because my I spend most of my time playing sports, and for me, going to a temple once a week was that was a thing. Probably a Thursday or a Sunday. We live very close to Shivam, so we used to go there once in a week, and that used to give the charge for the whole week. But luckily, after coming to US, it was there was one tipping point when I first came to US. Uh, so again, so it's all part of divine's plan. Um, I went to Cincinnati. Luckily, there was another old student of Swami, uh, Satyakant Kasturi, and he happened to live in Cincinnati. So my dad just happened to call him and said, "My son is coming to Cincinnati for masters. What do you think is the best way to sort out the living and all the other stuff?" And then he says, "I have a cousin of mine who's living in Cincinnati. Let's hook those two people up. They can, stay together and do all these things." And even before I moved to US, Swami took care of all the accommodation and everything with because of because I came to know uh, Satyakant uncle's cousin, Vishnu Kasturi, and so we have become very close. And he was in Swami's path from childhood, and and his family is very staunch devotees of Swami. uh, the first time was when we went to the service while we were in Cincinnati, and luckily he had a car back then. I was a student, so we went to the service. And after we started going to service activities, there was something great, a special feeling at least I got, because for me, I observed my people in my family performing service, but I wasn't an active participant of service. So this was a a critical point in my service journey. And Swami also made sure every time we did something for seva, we used to get our meal free, no matter however that is. Like we used to go to a restaurant and they never used to charge us, or we used to go out, go to friends place for dinner. And so whenever we went for service, our meal was taken care of. So as Shirdi Baba says, you come one step towards me, I'll come 100 steps towards you. And in the same way, Swami will come 1,000 steps if you just do one step towards him. Because the other experience is, for recent Shivratri, um, in Philadelphia, there was no Akhand Bhajan going on around Philadelphia. The closest spot was to go to New Jersey. And that's like 2 hours from Philadelphia, where I used to live before. And I was at the same time interviewing for Tesla. So I had to really prepare a solid presentation explaining the key aspects on the projects I worked on and everything. So I had two choices: either just stay home, just make the preparation, or somehow go attend bhajan for a couple minutes and then prepare for the interview in the meantime. Uh, being of I get a lot of thrill and happiness attending bhajans, singing bhajans. So I was like, okay, let's go there for at least couple of hours, do the bhajan, and then come back. We liked the bhajan so much that we went to the bhajan, stayed for 2 hours, came back home, went back to the bhajan again for 2 hours, and came back. So this was back in November, I guess. Yes. So no. I think this was in February. Yes. Sorry, my bad. This was the Nagar Sankirtan in November, when we do Akhand Bhajan for Swami's birthday, the November 14th thing. Uh, then the interview went so well that just giving the interview, I came out of a feeling that, okay, I've given my best. I don't have to do anything. Even if the interview result is positive or negative, I don't mind at that point. I've given my best. And I feel Swami was behind helping me out with in this whole process. And 6 months later or 5 months later, I am here in Austin speaking to you all. And I feel this is divine's plan, because I never thought I would get this job or move to Austin. And I wanted to move to Austin a long time ago, but it never happened before. So that was the other miracle, or the faith I have in Swami, that okay, he'll take care of the miscellaneous things, and all we have to do is just go one step towards him. He'll come 1,000 steps towards you. Um, and during 1978 to 83, getting for my dad to get an admission in Swami's college was not a easy, quick way. So after it was done with his high school, my grandmother said, "You're not studying in Hyderabad. You're just going to Puttaparthi and getting a seat in Swami's college. That's it. There is no other option." So my dad, he doesn't know where is Brindavan. There is how to get to Bangalore or anything. He takes a bus, goes to Brindavan, and when he goes for the application, putting in his application, they say, "Admissions closed. Why are you here?" So then said, "Okay, if the admissions are closed, there is nothing I can do." So he went back to Hyderabad, and my grandmother like, "Why are you back without admission? You're only coming back if you have admission." So then he had to go back again to Vrindavan. Then he was like, "Swami," or he was pleading Swami and also the lecturers, like, "This is the only option I have in my life right now, either studying in Swami's college or not." Then after a lot of prayers and speaking to various people, we have an admission, but not as as just as a day scholar. You cannot stay in the hostel. Then he was like, "Okay, let's get in first. We'll figure out how we want to figure out the accommodation." And luckily we had some mentors there who accepted to be guardians, because that was one of the criteria, and he doesn't know anybody in Bangalore or Whitefield. So that was Swami's Leela, showing someone to be as a guardian. And he used to attend Nagar Sankirtan every day, being outside the hostel for 3 consecutive months, like non-stop, left and right. Uh, and after seeing the sincerity of the boy, the hostel warden said, "Okay, go to room number 8. That's your room from now." So Swami, I think, was testing whether a particular individual deserves this thing. So I think that's how Swami actually tests your perseverance as well. How strongly you can stick to your virtues and stick to your habits. And in these 3 months, my at least this is what my dad told me, that he used to pray, plead Swami, and he made so many promises, like, I'll be this, I'll be a good boy, I will not, I'll make sure I follow these principles of yours. When they said, okay, you've got an admission, he was top of the world. Like, he was cloud 9, 10, 11, you count it, you name it. Then he goes to the ashram and said, he was standing in line when Swami used to walk, in the way where Swami used to walk, and Swami, can I take your pada namaskaram? Out of joy, because Swami has given him something. I want to, it's a joy. You want to pay it back. Then Swami goes, Induku. I mean, I'll say this in Telugu because it's and then I'll translate to English. Enduku ఈరోజు నీ బర్త్డేనా? Why do you want pada namaskaram? Is it your birthday today? Then my dad responds, లేదు స్వామి కాదు. No, it's not my birthday. Oh, okay. అయితే నీ బర్త్డే రోజు ఇస్తాను. I will give you pada namaskaram on your birthday. So back in those days, so my father has 6 siblings, out of which their dates were all messed up. So my one of my uncle and aunts, their year of birth is same, but they're on the date of birth, they are 30 days apart. So you can imagine they don't follow a proper track of time. So they know my dad was born in month of May, but they don't know May 20th or anything. And they always used to have that window. So after a few days, I think this was for Ugadi celebrations. I don't know which festival. Swami, my dad was probably at least 100 far away. Like, he was not sitting in Swami's path when he used to go to his throne and sit. Swami just takes a turn, goes round and round, 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 and goes and stands in front of my dad and lift the robes and say, take pada namaskaram. And then, like, he takes pada namaskaram, and after connecting all the dots, it was May 20th, 1963, and that happens to be the day my dad was born. So Swami always keeps his promises. I mean, as I mentioned before, you might not know the whole picture of it, but Swami definitely has a bigger vision on everything. And so some of these things are very captivating, at least for me. I mean, honestly, for me, I haven't um, like spoken to Swami. These are all the things somebody has told me, either my dad or when my dad meets his friends. And in this note, I want to uh, go to this picture. So these are all the students, or the boys from 78 to 83 batch. So part of them is Rupak Sharma. I'm saying this because I met him while I was in India last year, and I was asking him, Uncle, please share the experiences. One of the some of your experiences with Swami. He goes, so he taught Bhajana Bina Sukha Shanti Nahi to Swami. So back then, when students used to go to their native places, they used to learn bhajans and come back and sing these bhajans in Kulwant Hall or in front of Swami. So then Hari Bhajana Bina Sukha Shanti Nahi got introduced to Prashant Nilayam, and Swami used to ask him to sing this song like thousands of times. Like, he told me that he has sung this song in front of Swami for at least 1,000 times. Whenever Swami used to look at him and give a nod, it means he has to sing that song. And there are songs like these for different individuals. And if you looked at somebody, some other boy, and said, okay, sing, he has to sing Allahu Akbar. So like this was a secret code for each and every student. And the reason I'm narrating this story is, and Swami never sang this until certain time. He just used to hear this from Mr. Rupak Sharma. There was one event when Miss Subbalakshmi came to Brindavan, and after the bhajan and discourse, after the discourse, Swami concluded with this bhajan. Hari bhajana bhina sukha shanti nahi. At that point, everybody in the hall just looked at Mr. Rupak Sharma. He was literally in tears, and when I heard this, I was getting goosebumps because, and the icing on the cake is, after everything was done, Swami comes to Rupak uncle and says, "Itla padano, did I sing well?" And meaning, how did I sing? Did I, do a good job singing the bhajan? And then he was like, Swami, thank you very much. Like, I think the key here is Swami makes sure he has this one-on-one with every individual. He'll make sure the other person realizes that Swami is with them, listening to them. Like he's the mother, father, everything. Um, so this was something that really gave me a very good feeling when I heard this experience while I was in India last week. And brother, in the interest of time, if I'm exceeding my time limit, please let me know, because
No, go
I
ahead. I think, we are all ready to listen to you. Brother. Go ahead. We are good.
so and these 3 months when my dad was in outside the hostel, he used to make he used to follow certain rituals, like taking a cold head shower in the morning at 4:30. This led to developing sinusitis, cold, because the winters are very cold in Bangalore. Um, so he developed sinusitis because of that. And then fast forward 10 years, 15 years, 93 to almost 95, 96. It became a chronic ailment for my dad, and he was not able to uh, have a normal life because of this inconvenience. So then he had to get operated to get that thing fixed, and unfortunately that didn't work out. So again, so this was when dad along with his two friends went to a medical camp somewhere in Andhra Pradesh, and Swami came in his dream that day. Then Swami, Namaskaram Swami, Seeram Swami. um, నిన్ను I'll first say this in Telugu and then translate it to English. నిన్ను ఆపరేషన్ ఓడి చేయించుకోమన్నాడు రా, బుద్ధి లేదు నీకు, అంత తప్పు చేశారు. Meaning, who asked you to get this operation done? They messed up everything. You don't have brain. Dunnapota is a common word that Swami says. Uh, so, Swami, what can I do? The pain is unbearable. I have to get this. And then said, okay, let me, treat you. So Swami took a bowl and said, hold this bowl. And he started pumping water through a pipe. And in the dream, he saw like a whole bowl filled with all the mucus and all that substance that was causing inconvenience. And since that day onwards, dad was never suffering from sinusitis. So this is another very captivating experience. And I mean, for somebody who's not born in a Sai family, or somebody looking at these things from outside, these are not something you would like completely believe. But being experiencing so many things, you get attached so much that you become staunch devotees or believers that, okay, Swami will take care, you don't have to worry about anything. And so this was one of the experiences. And going back to the 96, so even though dad was a lawyer, dad is a lawyer by profession, but just to be closer to Swami, he was in Puttaparthi from almost 93 or 94 till 2002. So he was doing construction, business, and he was a builder. Um, so 96, he signed up for a land, and he had to make a commitment that by this particular day, I'll pay this much amount and then get that property transferred on my name. So in the meantime, due to shortness of funds and everything, he was short by almost 10 lakhs, 10 to 12 lakhs. So he was doing everything possible to pull up those funds. And unfortunately, he was not getting any leads or any kind of help from anyone. So Swami comes in his dream that night, says, నీకు డబ్బులు కావాలి కదా, రామలింగం రాజమల్లయ్యని కలు, అతను ఇస్తాడు. మీనింగ్, you need money, right? Go and talk to Rajmallaya, he'll give you money. So Mr. Rajmallaya happens to be my maternal side's distant grandfather, like very far away, so my mother was like, I know him, he will not even give anything, like, I know his personality. I think we have to just drop that idea. Then he was asking somebody else, and nothing happened for the next 2-3 days, and the commitment date was setting in, and within literally 2-3 days they had to finish the deal, otherwise they'll forfeit all their deposits they have given. So Swami comes in the dream again. అరే నీకు బుద్ధి లేదా, నీకు ఎన్నిసార్లు చెప్పాలి, రాజమల్లయ్యని వెళ్ళి అడుగు డబ్బులు, మీనింగ్ you don't have brain, go ask Rajamallaya, he'll give you money. So then my dad again says this story to my mom and says, okay, let's go, let's see. And this happens to be on some festival, and he's like, we just wrapped up this whole season. They are cloth merchants, and they said, from now until next 3 months, we were not sure where to put these 10 lakhs. We were wondering how to invest this amount. You came at the right time, take this 10 lakhs and do that. So Swami not only helps you out, but even tells you, okay, go to this person, and he will be able to help you out. So this is like literally in the dream saying, go speak to this guy, you'll get this work done. So listening to these experiences, just so I saw this cover page that was drafted saying, whenever you listen to my story, you forget the story of the world and you only live in my story. So these things, when we talk and listen to, we are just living in his story, which is, that is what you want, right? Having a life, being born, this is all you need at this point. So that was another experience in 96. 2002. So because of all the real estate activity, construction activity that happened in Puttaparthi, my parents got raided by income tax due to some issues back then. So dad was in Hyderabad the night before. He just, for some reason, took a bus, came to Puttaparthi, and he, I think, arrived around 5 o'clock in the morning, and he just took a brief nap around that time from 5 to 6. And my mom was also assisting him with all the construction works. She went to the electricity department in this is near Gokulam. So she was right in front of the electricity department, and they heard Swami is coming. I think at that time the stadium was being constructed, and Swami used to monitor all these constructions as well. So she just parked the vehicle and just stood there. Swami's car just came and just stopped right in front of her. The window comes down. Swami literally blesses with his abhayastam and said, and then she was That was the most ecstatic time of her life, I guess. She was like, she rushed back home. She, even before, she woke my dad up, she was very happy, like, hey, Swami, gave his, darshan, and, gave abhayastam. My dad woke up with a shock, literally shock, saying somebody came. So he had a dream that there was somebody who raided them. There were 3 jeeps, all the sirens and all were there. He was narrating this whole episode to my mom. While he was narrating, 3 jeeps with police escort and everything, they just barge into their house. So my mom was happy, but my dad already took the shock in terms of a dream. And he literally received them as if they're some family friends. He said, yeah, come on and, come on, sit down and all that. So they did all that. They checked all the documentation. They said the way my father responded to their questions, they were like, we are very sorry. You have come to a wrong place. There is nothing we can do now. We already, it is part of our protocol to finish the whole raid and then wrap up. So they had this minimum, whatever that amount was there. We said we have to take this because that is part of our protocol. So my dad said, can you just give me some balance 17,000 so that, we can just take care of our food, all the other things. So, yeah, definitely. And then the reason I'm saying this because after the raid was done, my mom was disappointed. Like, Swami gave darshan and this is what happened. Like, Swami should have, blessed us. Then my dad was like, Swami gave you darshan to help you to have the capability to handle the raid. So if my dad didn't had that dream at that time, he wouldn't have been so composed and been accommodative when they were asking questions. So they went to a restaurant just to kind of ease off. These people were there, the income tax people were there raiding that particular restaurant owner. So they look at this couple, my dad and mom, and said, looks like we have seen these two somewhere. And then, yeah, we are the ones you just raided. So then then it was a humor because whenever they were saying that whenever we do these raids, it takes at least weeks for people to come out of that trauma, but you are out having dinner. And then my dad had to console and say, you did your job. I know I haven't done anything wrong. Let's do this. So, and subsequently this case got disposed in 2010. That is also a miracle because even before the case was closed, he got a dream that somebody called from the income tax department saying, okay, this your file? And said, what is your name? Are you Sai Prasad? He said, yes, I am Sai Prasad. The current income tax officer is Sai Prasad, and he's looking into your case. He wants to say something to you. And he said, okay, this case is closed and all in the dream itself. Fast forward 2 years later, there happens to be a person called Sai Prasad, who is the income tax officer. And he said, we are just canceling the whole case because, we didn't find sufficient evidence. Um, so then my dad revealed to him, I knew this 2 years ago. I had a dream. Then he's not a devotee of Swami. I mean, he's a music lover, and my dad is a singer, and he wanted to hear Manas Bajare in different ragas from my dad. So he was singing all that, but he was never a devotee. When my dad said this, narrated this event to him, he's like, can you please take me to Puttaparthi? I really want to have Swami's darshan. So then we took him to Puttaparthi. He had a darshan. And ever since whenever we used to go to Puttavarthi, he was like, can I join you? And then that's how he became a ardent devotee of Swami. So some of these things, when I really think about it, I just get lost. I just become spellbound because I don't know what to say. Because and I think Swami knows what anyone needs, and he'll definitely take care of the needs and necessities. If not needs, he'll give you surplus to make sure you are having a smooth life. And one last thing I want to say and then conclude. So this was in 2018. 2018, Dad visited US. I was in Indiana at that time, and I made sure I took him to the previous centers I was associated with, Cincinnati, Fort Wayne, and other center. Um, and being Swami student, people were asking, okay, why don't you just do a study circle, during the weekend? So he said, yes, let's do that. And the day before, Dad was giving a study circle thing. Swami comes in his dream and said, "Em chaptunavu? What are you talking about?" And Swami, I'm just talking about your the experiences you have showered on me and all the good things you have done. Uh, ఈసారి యునైటెడ్ స్టేట్స్ లో యునైటెడ్ సర్వీస్ గురించి చెప్పు. Meaning, why don't you talk about United service in United States of America? So that's what Swami mentioned during that night or the day before during the dream. So I think probably with all the experiences I had and what my dad had, Swami emphasizes a lot on service, and I I I want to do more, but in the interest of the current profession, I am tied. I've tied. My hands are tied, but I really want to you know continue being part of the Swami's mission to do service. And these weekend satsangs or bhajans, these are like charging moments for the rest of the week. I feel that way because if I attend a bhajan and a satsang, it just keeps me going for the whole week. And 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 luckily, people in Austin, the YAs members, brothers and sisters, they're so welcoming that it's like home here in Austin. It never felt like I'm new to Austin as an area, and I'm really enjoying the company and the good satsang we are having as a group in the YA community. And I just want to share this last slide. So this was Swami's letter to Brindavan boys. So this was I got this from one of my dad's friend's speech. So this was back in 1976. He goes, till the brain with high thoughts and high ideals, place them day and night before you, and out of that will come great work. Talk not about impurity, but say that we are pure. We have hypnotized ourselves into this thought that we are little, that we are born, that we are going to die, and into a constant state of fear. Meaning, Swami, I think reading this, I felt there is no other better personality development teacher than Swami. He's giving you what you need to do, saying, just place them before you day and night. Then that will, come great work. So I felt this was captivating too, and that's why I'm sharing this with you all. I think I've gone a little over my time.
No, you're good. You're in the right time. You're not over time. Frankly, we said we'll conclude by 7 and it is 7.
Perfect.
So uh, um, it's really nice, man. Some of the experiences are really nerve-wracking. The not that anyone would have really in their life, right? I mean, definitely not that someone wants to have in their life either. About being raided and getting saved, etc. And how Swami comes every time in a dream and solves the puzzle right before it or right during that time. Now, I happen to have a very similar experience that I had earlier shared in one of the my Sai and I sessions earlier too, where how Swami came in my dream and solved one of the problems that I had. And many a times how Swami's dream really means Swami coming himself and talking to you about what's expected out of you, or what should you do, what should you not do, etc. How that uh, dream really is something that it's not a dream, but it's really a happening thing where he does a conversation with you as though you're remote, but now that kind of an experience, captive experience, right? And thanks for sharing all of that. It's really, really, I think we might need probably one more session with you for sure, to kind of go over a lot of your experiences so far with Swami and sport. So thank you so much, brother. It was really nice talking to you. I happened to learn a lot today, frankly, uh, in terms of how sister started, where she said, "See always inside," and then how you said Swami is having the vision of everything, right? I mean, it's both inside as well as outside of you. Both are Swami. So that kind of an experience where um, he knows everything in and out of you, the way you described, and where she described how everything inside you is Swami. Listen to him inside. Both are very important, right? The outside world as well as the inward Swami, whom you have to listen to all the time. So uh, uh, this my Sayana is definitely one of that I would go back and I want to listen more, more and more to kind of get some of it. Any questions from anyone before we conclude, or any thoughts here that you want to share? Please unmute yourself and speak up, Sairam. Okay. So a couple of things that I want to stress, right? One, there is a medical camp that's happening on April the 15th at Vidar. Please go back and talk to your service coordinators about it. If anyone is ready to help, come and help us there. Please do register and come and be part of it. That's going to be a regional level medical camp. Today is the last day for registration of the international conference that's happening in California. So people who are interested in attending, please go back. I would share those links in the WhatsApp channel that we have. Go back and please register for whoever is really interested in getting that. We definitely want to welcome. We have Brother Seeram also here, who is also from Austin, by the way. So if anyone has any questions regarding the international conference, please do reach out to him. He would be able to provide insights to it as well, being local here. So with that, any last thoughts from anybody before we conclude? Okay. Let's conclude with one Om and three Shantis. Brother Navanit, why don't you take us through the prayer?
Oh. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Sairam, thank you everyone.
Sairam.
Sairam.
Guys.